there folks, Anthony back with another guitar video. Today I'm going to be doing something that I'm really not experienced at doing, but I figured I'd make a video about it anyway since that's kind of a hobby of mine anyways. We're going to be replacing the electronics in my 2009 Fender Mexican Standard Telecaster. However, there's not much standard about this anymore. The tuners and the electronics are pretty much the only two things left that need to be replaced. As far as pickups go, these are different pickups also. This is a Seymour Duncan quarter pound for Tele, and this is a Adder or APC or whatever the hell it was before it went out of business. So yeah, we're just gonna make this guitar different than what it was when I got it, and hopefully make it sound a little bit better. So to get started, we're just gonna take off the electronics plate and disconnect some stuff. Take a good look at this mess of wires. It's all gonna get cleaned up here. Now we get to take off all of this stuff and put the new components on. First you want to loosen up the little screw in here. And that should allow us to take the tone knob off. And then we've got this little guy down here, which we'll just give a little twist to loosen it up. Comes off really good. And now we should have a completely disconnected set of good old-fashioned Mexican Standard electronics and a little bridge plate. So here's what I got. This kit is from Tone Shaper for a modern wiring configuration. It's got the wiring diagram here in there also. Comes with the capacitor, a tone, what was it? Treble pass. That's what it is. Basically allows some treble sound to pass through into your volume, because apparently when you turn the volume down on your guitar, sometimes the treble comes off. So I'm going to install that and see if I like that sound. This guitar did not have that. Just had a capacitor on it. That looks fancy already. Next, what we're going to do is take the tone and volume, and the lugs need to face each other. Doesn't matter which one is which, I believe, because they should be the same pot. It just depends on the order in which you put them in. Now we got those components installed, and now we need to wire this baby. Alright, so I've got all my wires kind of set up in here now. I trimmed a little bit of them down so that it's not so messy in there. I'm going to start doing some tinning. Basically, I'm just going to tin where it says I'm going to put a wire on my little chart over there. I'm going to start with the pickup selector switch, though, just to start easy. So we're going to put a little bit on the tip of this guy here. I'm going to put some here on this lug. Apparently it doesn't take very much. A little bit here. And then on that one. These next two down here. And then the next one. And then of course here where we're gonna end up putting the bridge pickup. There's one there. That is a pickup ground, so I'll put some solder on it too. And then we've got our spot for a capacitor. And then where the volume hooks up to the tone. And then of course we're going to have some ground going on there. Okay, so we got step one out of the way. I'm going to start by doing this bit where we ground. Let's see. Traditionally speaking, some people tend to fold this over, and I'll just decide if I want to follow the directions or start guessing. I'll follow the directions. I'm going to go with the old-fashioned wire, and we won't need much wire at all for this. I should just be able to push it back. I'll do one side here, So we got that part in. It is grounded. We're going to work on the pickup selector next. Okay, pickup selector. So we're going to wire a jumper between all 4 of these and then wire this same wire straight over to the volume pot. Put this one through here for starters. Okay, part 1 of that is done. Now our little pickup selector has been wired up. Now I have to solder this bad boy. Starting to feel like I'm gonna need to use a second wire for this. That's not too bad looking. Hands are a little shaky because I've been trying to be accurate and I am not a doctor, but you've got the wire that's connected these guys up. Pickup selector switch still works, and now it's connected output wise to the volume. So we're on a roll so far, and now we need to connect one more wire here between the volume and the tone. We'll take this little guy here, trying to do this with the least amount of wire as I possibly can so that it's not all messy on the other side. Next I'm going to wire in this capacitor, which should be pretty straightforward. Just take it and kind of bend it. Here is what the diagram shows, and like bend it here. Don't want to bend it up there because of course I only have one capacitor and I don't want to break it. But it goes from the ground of the tone to the ground of the volume. So again, I'm going to cut it, but I'm going to be sparing with this one. Stick this one in that tone out, or yeah, that's the tone out. There we go. And then this guy goes right there. So I think it's time that we move on to the output jack and wire that up. Okay, so the output jack. Here's our new one. A little newbie. We're going to take some wire. Just take a couple of these little wires and hook them up. This is the hot and then the ground. Sorry, so you'll see. I'm not doing a very good job of showing, but this is going to be the hot wire, and then this is going to be the ground wire. So I'm going to wire that up respectively. Got it. Now I can throw this nut on here, and that should help me adjust where this output jack thingy is sitting. Just barely tight. Okay, so we got the jack back in there. That is awesome. Now we can finish wiring this fucking thing up and then throw all the other wires on here. So now we have our hot, which is going to go into this middle spot on the volume knob right there. And then the ground is going to hook up to this guy right here, which is also where our capacitor is. And then we can have even a little bit more fun. Forgot to trim off that piece of the capacitor that I was... Woo! I should be able to just melt the solder by heating the tip. There we go. Next, I'm going to wire up this ground into the big ground on the volume pot. Now we can start hooking shit up. I've got my bridge pickup. I'm going to wire that into spot number uno over here on the pickup selector switch. Smoky. And the ground goes to the volume pot, it looks like. Yes, it does. And now the neck pickup. Now I have to remember exactly which one of these wires I used for hot and which one I used for ground. So the vertic is in, green is ground, red is the hot wire. Fucking shit, what did I do with this black wire? Nothing. Now I gotta go figure out what I did with the black wire. Okay, so we've decided red hot, green ground, and apparently also ground for the little black wire there. So we'll get started with the tinning again, and hopefully we'll be done soon. I'm also going to actually install that treble pass. Alright, so I'm going to send this under. I'm going to wire this up to the ground. I'm curious about what would happen if I wired them both to hot. Because I read on an article on the internet, if I can always change this back if I don't like it. Cool, that is all wired back up. Let's see how it fits in here. Oh yeah, that's right, I was going to do the treble pass, duh. God, dummy me. Pretty sure I can cut some of this wire off and make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to add a little bit more solder to those two things with 9% battery left, and attach. Use some pliers to hold this thing on while I solder it in. Okay, so that's all wired in. That should be everything. Now that I'm, thinking that I'm done. Okay, that looks better than it did the last time. I'm gonna put my little screws back in. I'll string this up. Actually, I'll put the volume and tone knobs and the pickup selector switch that I got, or the hat, on here as well, and then we should be done. That's the theory anyways. This is awesome. While I'm putting the strings on, I'll recharge the phone and then give this a test run. Let's see if I can get this sucker on here. Haha, I got a pickup selector hat. That's awesome. Haven't had one of those in forever. How nice. Alright, let's go put strings on it. Check it out. Alright, so here's the new setup. It's all in there with the tone knobs and everything. I spent a fair amount of time trying to figure out a grounding problem. It hummed like a motherfucker because it wasn't grounded properly. I don't know exactly where I messed up, but what I ended up doing was running a wire. I soldered it to the back of the tone pot, and it wouldn't solder to the bottom of the bridge, so what I ended up doing was bending it over and resting it on the wood, and then just making sure this rests on it when it's all screwed in. And it seems to be doing a pretty good job because the hum's not there anymore. At least I hope it's not. I did play it a while ago and the hum's not there, so hopefully the wire is secure enough. Here's some clean sounds. Both pickups together. Got an itch. Sorry. So here's a dirty tone on the bridge.